I think we were always intolerant. It's just that intolerance reaches out to us now. So I've always been that approachable guy, the relatable guy. I think it shows in my filmography also the kind of characters I've played. I think the success of OTT is also the success of Indian cinema because people don't take them as two different things. Yeah. But I think if Indian content is working well on OTT, that's also the success of Indian cinema.
Actors are a little insecure in general, sometimes I've noticed. But I think one actor I've met who has zero insecurities is AK.
Hi guys, welcome to the Quint. I'm going to start with you. This is your directorial debut. I know you've been around for over a decade. How are the nerves now that everything rests on your shoulders as a director?
It's very different. It's a very new feeling, and of course you're nervous. You'd be lying if you say that you're not. Yeah. But more than nervous, I'm very excited because this is a film that's very close to our hearts. And we've made it with all the love and effort as much as we could put.
In the trailer, you say that I lead two lives, a real and a real life, right? As Ayushmann Khurrana, do you find it difficult to detach from the two lives?
I've had this knack of switching on and switching off very easily. Like when I'm on camera, I'm different, and off camera, I just want to be as real and simple as possible because I don't want to have that baggage. And being a theatre actor, you want to keep it very basic. And in my head, I'm a minimalist. So I think I want to keep it simple and real because if you're acting on screen and off screen also, I think you will lose it completely.
But does it sometimes happen like you lose yourself in the middle, which is the real you, while you're also like most of the time trying to be this person who's on camera?
I've normally played very, very realistic characters. So which is very close to my core also. I've always thought I'm not perfect. I've played imperfect characters in my films. But this is something which is very different. So I had to put on that swag or maybe that false sense of entitlement or, Manav's character in an action hero is somebody who's very flamboyant, who's arrogant and wears his stardom honestly, that's not me. So it was fun playing that character. That's not even my alter ego.
Right.
That's not me at all. I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
But he is a true blue superstar who thinks that uske aage kuch hai hi nahi. World just ends around him.
Yeah, it is quite different from what we've seen you play in the past. Even in Anek, there was a generous amount of action, right? But this one is an out-and-out action film. Are you enjoying exploring this genre?
Previous film was a docudrama kind of thing.
Yeah.
But this is an out-and-out action film. It's a thriller. We have our comic elements. So it has that quirk which really excited me. It's not a run-of-the-mill conventional action flick. And I won't be lying, I was offered some action films in the past 10 years, but it was not this. They were not this because it just breaks a clutter in a way. It's not just a genre breaker for me, but also for people, for Bollywood maybe.
So what is it that stood out in this film for you?
It's the topicality. It is the film of 2022. It has a media trial. It has the fickle nature of public, film industry, media, life in general.
Anirudh, you called him the bravest actor in the country. While I get a sense of why, but could you tell us why do you think so? Let's praise him.
I don't think anything ordinary excites Ayushmann Khurrana. He always looks for that X factor in every script. Even though the script is a very risky script, if he falls in love with it, he falls in love with it. There's no looking back. And when he comes on board, he comes with all his heart and all his faith, and he gives you everything he's got. That I think is very brave. It's not just the choice of his scripts, it's also the approach he takes. He is okay to doing anything unconventional, anything that even makes him uncomfortable. But because he is that brave in his nature, he'll just take it on like, and it looks so effortless. So that I feel is very rare. It's a very rare quality in an actor because actors are a little insecure in general, sometimes I've noticed. But I think one actor I've met who has zero insecurities is AK.
Talking about scripts, nowadays because there's so much content out there, over the last 3 years, we've watched so many different kind of content across the world, right? The audience is not just accepting anything that's being thrown at them. They've also become very picky and much more evolved in the way they think and look at films. Are you as an actor looking at scripts differently when you are accepting them now?
Yeah, this is my first post-pandemic choice, an action hero, which has all the elements of a commercial film. The grammar of the film is different from my previous films. I feel it is a theatrical because it has that scale, it has that slickness. There's no lag. It's edge of the seat. It keeps you hooked. It happened with me with the narration also. So I guess yes, of course, there is a change in strategy, or maybe I'm learning. I'm still learning and evolving as an actor, and also how to choose scripts post pandemic.
Because a lot of actors that I've spoken to over the last few months, and when you talk to them about theatrical versus an OTT, they think there was a time there was so much chatter about the two that OTT might take over cinema. But do you think that's ever going to happen? Because I feel cinema has its own place, theater has its own place, own films that one can't enjoy on OTT.
It really depends on the grammar of the film.
Yeah,
If if you have to choose the medium correctly, and different films for different mediums, different content for different platforms. Yeah, I think the success of OTT is also the success of Indian cinema, because people don't take them as two different things. But I think if Indian content is working well on OTT, that's also the success of Indian cinema.
Absolutely. As you know, you said in yourself that in the film you also have a media trial, you have social media, etc. What social media, as we perceive it, has its pros and it has its cons, right? How do you perceive the medium for yourself as an actor? Apart from having the cons that it does, do you also think it's an empowering tool for a celebrity today?
It is. For some people, it doesn't work and they want to be slightly unapproachable, but I am that approachable guy. If I won't be approachable, that will be going against my core. I've started as a theatre actor, as a radio presenter, or TV host. So I've always been that approachable guy, the relatable guy. And I think it shows in my filmography also the kind of characters I've played. I represent the common man. If I keep myself detached from social media or carry a certain image, which is not mine, which is not my core, so I think it will be, maybe I will be cheating myself. So I think for me, it works to be approachable and put myself out there on social media, not just about my films, but my character apart from films, as a musician or somebody who writes or appreciates nature, who's a little philosophical at times.
Through COVID, we got to see that side of you a lot more, and that kind of kept you connected with your audience and the fans, I would think. So you think us as a society have become a little intolerant, with others' opinions, others' expressions? It can even be me. Even I can say something very simple on social media and receive backlash for it. So do you think as a society we've become a little more intolerant?
I think we were always intolerant. It's just that intolerance reaches out to us now. That's the only difference. Like, we used to discuss everything under the sun with our batchmates, classmates, or maybe used to have that discussion at the local pan wala, chai wala. And we were always like that. We always were opinionated. And these opinions reach out to us because of social media. But I think that's fine. And you have your own opinions. And we all learning, evolving. And by the same time, I also would like to say that it depends on the tonality of the film. My learning from the pandemic has been that I have to go wider with my choice. That's about it.
And that's exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
One last question before we go. What's the one takeaway that people, once the audience is watching an action hero, that you'd love for them to go home and think about it?
It would be an adrenaline rush, I think. It's like a roller coaster ride.
Edge of the seat.
Edge of the seat. And it's a mishmash of a lot of things put together. It's, as I said, it's topical. It's the story of 2022. And it's a fresh take on perspective of the film industry and vis-a-vis media, public, everyone.
Thank you so much, and good luck for the film. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you.